The following short video will be an introduction to the NeoScientist alternative to AA and 12-step addiction programs. So, the very first thing that you need to think about when trying to overcome addiction, and for the purposes of this video, we will primarily just be talking about alcohol addiction, because alcohol addiction is a very common addiction, and addiction is addiction. People want to try to argue, oh, one drug might be stronger, the addiction might be stronger than another drug, but for the purposes of this video and for the purposes of this mental exercise, alcohol is a good descriptor of all addictions, because addiction is addiction. So the very first thing that we need to talk about is there is nothing wrong with you. There is nothing wrong with you. Addiction is seen throughout the entire animal kingdom. It's not just human beings that get addicted to things. It's not just human beings that get addicted to alcohol. You don't even need to go far in the animal kingdom, away from our genetic line to something similar, to find alcohol addiction. If you do a YouTube search for alcohol addicted monkeys, you will find this is a thing. There are tourist areas where the tourists have their alcoholic drinks stolen from them by the native monkeys, because the monkeys have learned over time to drink the alcohol to get drunk, and they have become alcoholics. And they're constantly stealing alcohol from tourists because they're looking to get smashed. You know what that means? That means there's nothing wrong with you. AA is all about teaching you that there's something wrong with you, that you're a broken human being, that you're a broken individual because you got addicted to alcohol. And that's not true at all. Alcohol addiction is extremely common. Alcohol addiction happens outside humans, in the animal kingdom. Just addiction itself happens throughout the animal kingdom. Okay? There is nothing wrong with you. You are perfectly normal when you get addicted to things in life. I mean, when I was younger, I got addicted to Mountain Dew for a couple of years, and I was drinking like 20 of them a day. And I would get really grumpy and irritable if I did not have enough Mountain Dew. So it was probably primarily a caffeine addiction that was sustaining that habit. But it was a bad habit. It was an addiction. And I have also in my life struggled with having too much to drink and drinking regularly every day, because there starts to become a pull there where you want to drink all the time if you drink too much. So we're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk how to deal with it. So, now that you know that there's nothing wrong with you at all, you're just a normal human being that has an addiction. And addiction is something normal that humans succumb to, and it's a normal thing that happens to humans. I want to talk to you about how to reduce your addiction, how to get rid of your addiction. Now, there's two different places that you are going to be looking to go. Either you want to get yourself in a position in life where you never drink alcohol again because you're just sick of it and you just no longer want it, or you want to get down to recreational drinking. Recreational drug use is not shunned in NeoScientism. It's not required. You can abstain from alcohol and drugs all your life, and I'm sure you'll be an even better, stronger person for doing that, because it requires great discipline to do such a thing. And you will be protecting your mind by not doing recreational drugs. But for the vast majority of humans, from time to time, they like to enjoy recreational drinking, sometimes recreational drugs at a party. These are things that normal human beings do. And NeoScientism does not say that that is a sin. It's not a sin. You shouldn't be ashamed. It's your body, it's your brain, you own it. If you want to ingest a chemical that alters your perspective on reality, that is totally your right. And just wait till we become transhumans and we start dealing with augmented reality and genetic manipulation, because we're going to leave recreational drugs behind for things that are so much better. We're going to start to mess with our minds in the future in ways we can't even possibly imagine. But for right now, I want to talk about addiction. Now, how do you get a hold of your addiction? How do you rein it in and get control of it? Because the reason why you are addicted is because your brain is used to running along at a certain chemical frequency. You have current chemical reactions going on in your brain, and you're running along at a certain frequency. Now, you introduce a drug to that equation, and it boosts your mood and it elevates you to a different chemical plateau, a different chemical experience, right? If you keep doing that, eventually your brain gets used to the new level. So then when you remove that drug, that alcohol, your brain doesn't know what to do because it's used to running with it. So then what happens? Depression, sadness, anger, heart palpitations, sweating, coming off of drugs, coming off of alcohol, coming out of an addiction is an unpleasant experience. That's why people just keep going back to the addiction. They just keep going back to drinking more and more. So, now, we've established there's nothing wrong with you, and we've established that you want to change for the better. You want to be a better person because you're watching this video. So you've already done the hard part. You've already made a proactive decision to change and make yourself better. So this is what we're going to work on first. We want to work on reducing the amount of time that you spend drinking or doing the recreational drug of choice. You want to reduce every single 24-hour period the amount of time that you crack open that beer to the amount of time that you fall asleep or stop drinking. Okay? So find what time period during the day you drink the most, and then you're going to need to eliminate the rest of it. Okay? This means waking up, being sober, going to work. You know, they used to call it functioning alcoholic. We need to get you there first. Let's reduce the amount of time to where it's just in the evening and you're just having drinks before bed or whatever. You want to reduce the amount of time each 24-hour period that you're drinking. So go from 6 hours drunk each day to 5 hours drunk each day to 4 hours drunk each day to 3 hours drunk each day. And then it gets really difficult to get drunk because you really have to slam them. But we're not done because we want to reduce the dose. Now, as you are reducing the amount of time that you drink each day, and this becomes your new habit, reducing the amount of time you drink, you want to introduce a new behavior pattern. Once you get to where you're sober for the majority of the day, and you only drink at night, that's when you want to focus on reducing the dose. Why? Why do we want to reduce the dose at night and to shift our addiction all the way into the evening? It's because when we start reducing the dose and pulling back on how much we drink each day, we're going to be irritable, we're going to be angry, we're not going to be pleasant people to be around. So you can do it, you can detox slowly over time in the comfort of your own home. So every single day, you want to strive to reduce the amount of time that you drink, and you want to reduce the dosage. That's how many beers you drink or how much liquor you drink. You're going to want to keep tabs. You're going to want to keep a journal or a notebook of some kind. You need to keep tabs on your dosage. The next thing I want to go over is willpower is not what you should lean on, because willpower is not a thing that comes from you that you can just pull out of you. A lot of people think that willpower is this thing that you can just summon to just conquer. No. Willpower is what you practice daily until it becomes a habit. You want to start practicing things every single day, and you want to start doing those things every single day until it becomes a habit to do those things. And that's what I call willpower, because then it becomes a part of you and it becomes a part of what you want to do. So remember, we are reducing the time and we are reducing the dose. And if you do it enough, it becomes habit. So your willpower is not something that we're just magically conjuring up. It is something that we are creating. We want to emphasize during this time period, when you're reducing the time and reducing the dose, that habits are more important than the numbers. How many beers you drank today how many beers you drank yesterday, how much time you drank today or yesterday is not as important as constantly striving to reduce time and reduce dose, because that's the habit. That is the positive actions that you want to create moving forward. Change your lifestyle during periods of use. So now we're going to fall back on you're having problems. You're trying to reduce the time, you're trying to reduce the dose, but you just can't. You've gotten it down to these 4 or 6 hours a day that you just have to slam beers and you have to drink. And you're finding that the willpower is just not coming, because willpower doesn't magically come out of nowhere. You want to change your lifestyle during this period of use. If you find that you can't actually create a habit to change your life, what you need to do is you need to actually change your lifestyle. And what that means is, and it's really simple, pick up a new habit during the time that you're going to drink. It's really that simple. Have you ever wanted to get into model trains? It would be the perfect time to do it. Get into model trains. Have you ever wanted to get into model rocketry? Perfect time to do it. During your drinking time, get into model rocketry. Build rockets at home. Have you ever wanted to learn computer programming, learn a new language? Have you ever wanted to do something new? Have you ever had a hobby that you enjoy that you've never really had time set aside to do? Your drinking time is the time to do it. So what we want to do is we want to create positive time during that drinking time, where you are focusing your mind and your mental energy on a positive thing, like a hobby that you enjoy, instead of focusing your mind on drinking. So if you change your lifestyle, if you change your habits, if you change what you do during that time, it's going to make it a lot easier to reduce the time and reduce the dose, because you're not going to be thinking about alcohol. You're going to be thinking about your model train. You're going to be thinking about your model rocket. You're going to be thinking about whatever it is your new hobby is, or your new habit. The reason why we change our lifestyle and we pick up a new hobby is because we want to occupy your mind. Okay? If things are quiet and you're just left to sit there and think for yourself, those cravings for alcohol are going to get really loud and really strong, and they're going to take over, because you don't have anything to distract you. You need a distraction. You need something to occupy your attention span during that time that you normally would be drinking. So we want to occupy your mind so you're not thinking about alcohol and you're doing something else. That's the reason why we change our lifestyle. And finally, once we've changed your lifestyle, once we've reduced your time, reduced your dose, once you now have positive habits and you're no longer consumed with drinking every single day, and now you have your own model train hobby or model rocket hobby or whatever hobby that you've gotten into, now you are clean. And you can create because you are human. And that is what you are here for. And I'll just finish that out with what NeoScientism is all about. NeoScientism believes that science and technology is the most important aspect of human life and civilization. And we believe that human beings are as far as we know, are the ultimate life form in the cosmos currently. You are the smartest freaking thing walking around in the universe. You are the most highly evolved thing walking around in the universe right now, until we discover a higher form of life. So take that to heart and take that as confidence, and know that you are human, you are strong, you are capable, you can change your life, you can change your habits, you can reduce your time that you drink, you can reduce the dose that you drink, slowly but surely. Does not have to happen overnight. You did not become an alcoholic overnight. You did not become a drug addict or junkie overnight. It had to establish itself over use and use and use, and the climbing of the usage. So we're going to reduce it the same way, slowly over time. No stress. Don't worry about it. Addiction is a perfectly normal thing. There's nothing wrong with you. You will come out the other side of this. You just need to string together some positive actions to create positive change in your lifestyle. I hope this has been informative. I hope that this helps you. And follow NeoScientism. Follow us on YouTube. And if you are struggling with addiction, tweet me at OFH Director. Tweet me. I will personally be there for you because I know a thing or two about addiction. I've struggled with it before in the past. And it should not be something that hinders your life. It should not be something that burdens you. So if you're having serious problem coming off of drugs or alcohol and you want some serious help, we are here for you. And tweet me directly. I mean that.